Good Yontiv, everyone. A happy holiday. At that it is. Yutis Kislev, Chag HaGeula. Alter Rebbe Bal HaYeshuos. We are the 19th day of Kislev. The day that our dear Rebbe, the Alter Rebbe, author of the Tanya, was released from prison. Today's a day to celebrate. And hence, it becomes the beginning of a new cycle, which is very exciting. So, good Yontiv to everyone. May be inscribed and sealed for a good year in the study of Chassidus and in the ways of Chassidus. Let us just briefly say hello to Darren in the Philippines, Andrea in Phoenix, Simcha's with us in Florida, Erica in sunny Norway, Robert, shalom to you in Boston, and Betty, I don't remember from where, you have to remind me. Andrew in New Jersey is with us, June in Australia where it's late, also together with TJ, also in Australia. Looking forward to the new cycle, absolutely. And in Melbourne, Florida, is Liz, is with us. Davida Liba in New York, welcome. Diane is with us in Arizona. Irma in St. Martin, welcome. Eugenia is in Calgary. And Heather in Connecticut. Casey in Missouri. Tim in Texas. John in North Carolina. David in California. Dam in Israel. Oh, we have the Holy Land here. Beautiful. And the land of our people, Miami, we have Susanna. Debbie in Brooklyn, welcome. Michael in Germany is with us. In Sacramento, Betty. Okay, Alex I'm not certain where that is. In Virginia, Michael. Julia in Florida. Even Clubhouse we have together with us today. We have Vilma, Batya and David, Adam, Jeffrey, Michael, Raphael, Eliana, Lindsay, Margot, Merrill, Tim, Ronald. We have together with us Instagram, Alan in Los Angeles, Yenta Talabenta, Alice in Baltimore, Shechem, Crystal in Australia, Koy in Peru, Carolina here in Montreal, Sonia, Ellis, some of the names I can't get, Mama Cooks, all right, Chabad of GMC, beautiful. So again, a good jump of we begin a new cycle with excitement. For many of you, you've gone through it before, but it remains very fresh and very alive. Let us get right into it. Title page. Sefer Likutei Amarim. This is a book called The Compilation of Teachings. Chelik Rishon, Part 1. Hanikra B'Shem is entitled Sefer Shel Beinanim, the Book of the Intermediate. Melukim Epi Sfarim, it's compiled from sacred books. Epi Seifrim, and from saintly teachers. Kedushei Elyon, Nishmas Maiden. The sacred books are from the Rambam, Maimonides, the Maharal from Prague, and the Shalach Kodesh, Shnei Luchos HaBris. Those are the basic, it's based on all Torah, but those are the basic sacred books, and the heavenly and saintly teachers are, of course, the Baal Shem Tov, founder of the Hasidic movement, and the Mizitcher Magid, whose Yortzeit is actually today, who is the teacher, the Rebbe of the Alter Rebbe. Miyusad al Pasuk. It is based on one verse in Torah, in Deuteronomy, chapter 30, verse 14. This 53 chapters is based on one verse. Of course, the Alter Rebbe quotes from many different places, but it's coming really ultimate to explain one verse. Ki karav elecha hadavar ma'od. For this thing, hadavar, this thing, Torah mitzvahs, God, is karav ma'od, very near, very close. Karav hadavar ma'od, to you, beficha, in your mouth, bilvavcha, in your heart, lasayse, that you may do it. And it'll be explained b'derech harucha. It'll be explained in a very lengthy way, uktsara, and in a short way, be'ezras Hashem, with God's help. That's the title page. We're going to come back to that in a moment, because there's also today approbations from Reb Zusha from Anipol, a contemporary of the Alter Rebbe, who was also one of the students of the Mizitcher Magid, and a holy man himself, saintly man. He speaks about seeing the luminous works of the Alter Rebbe. What a wonderful kindness that he's given this in writing to us, so we can, in order to show God's people his holy ways. The Alter Rebbe's intention was not to publish these writings, for it just wasn't his way. A lot of great people never wrote anything. But because the pamphlets that were spread became numerous, copies by sundry copyists, and that's one of the reasons why he got arrested, at least for how it played itself down here by people who were against his teachings. So as a result, he had to make sure that the copies should not be copied inappropriately, incorrectly, sometimes purposefully, in order to incriminate him. Therefore, it was brought to the printing press. Brought to the printing press by distinguished scholars, Shalom Shachna and Reb Mordechai, and who put themselves out in order to print this, and no one should print these books for 5 years, first of all, that they should recoup their expenses, and together with that the proper teachings should spread to all people in all communities. And therefore, people would make a mistake in having a sundry copy. And he says that this is the words of the one who demands this for the glory of the Torah. This day, Tuesday, in which the creators twice saw that it was good. And at that time, it was the weekly Torah portion of Savoy, in the year 1796. Or Peduseinu, as he writes here, the insignificant, the small, Shulm Zusil of Anipol. And likewise, there's a second approbation that we learned today from also saintly renowned individual, Rabbi Yehuda Leib HaKoyen, who likewise speaks about the greatness of the Alter Rebbe, the author, and that no one should print this book until 5 years has passed, to make sure that, again, they recoup, and they should, that the proper copies should be amongst the people. Okay, let's take this apart now. The title page. First of all, the Alter Rebbe called L'Kotei Amorim, a compilation of sayings, of teachings. In his humility, he just sees himself as making a compilation of teachings that nothing more. Well, in a sense, you could say that about any Torah teachings, and let me explain. There's a beautiful story with the previous Rebbe, Yosef Yitzchak. He was in Vienna in a hotel lobby, and there were some Yidden, Yekishe Yidden, German Jews, Germany, Austria, and they questioned the previous Rebbe, what is of these teachings? We're traditional Jews, and we have the Talmud and other teachings. What is this that has come, just of recent times? It's not been a part of the tradition of the Jewish people, Tanya and Hasidic teachings. So the Frierdiker Rebbe looks at them and says, they're in a beautiful lobby of a hotel. It says, do you see the beautiful artwork on top of the ceiling? A high ceiling and some woodwork. It was very nice. And didn't know where he's going with that. Then he took a lamp and he put a lamp to shine upon the work. And he says, now do you see it better? Is it more clear? Says, that's exactly what Hasidic teachings has come to do. Taking that which has already been there and to make it very near to you and to make it very dear to you in your heart, in your mouth and your heart to do. So in that sense, hey, there's nothing new here except elucidation on that which is already there. And that's true on one level. Yet, the elucidation, the new perspective that had not been seen previously is so profound, is so illuminating, that it's like you're looking at the same piece of art or the same woodwork on the ceiling. Hey, wow. I never knew that was there. I never saw those beautiful, that beautiful piece of art. Now I really see it. So this is what the Alter Rebbe is doing for us. And what is it? The book of the intermediate. It's not the book of the righteous. We'll learn about the righteous. It's about how you can become a Beinani, or what we're trying to do is BIT's Beinani in training. We're in training. So this thing is very near, the verse says. In your mouth. So what's very near? How is it near? So so in your mouth means in your speech. Oh, okay, that makes sense. And that you may do your actions, that makes sense. We can master our actions. We can master our words, have mastery over it. I mean, we can definitely try that. And that's what we're working towards, that self-mastery. But it says in your heart. Mastery over your heart, as we will learn later, that's really only a righteous person can have that mastery. We're not going to have that mastery. So as we will learn later, the word heart here has a double meaning. Heart means your thoughts. And why your thoughts? Why would it mean your thoughts? Because you think about those things that are on your heart. Right? When you're kind of nervous about something, anxious, that's a feeling in your heart. Well, you're going to think about that because of the anxious, nervous feelings that you have in your heart. If you're very upset about something or just thrilled with something in your heart, well, you're going to be thinking about it. So on one level, it means here your thoughts, and hence what we have is speech, thought, and action, which are the three levushim, garments of expression of the soul, thought, speech, and action, right? that we can have mastery over. We can have mastery over our actions, over our speech, and even thoughts. Not the original thought that comes into our mind, but not to cogitate, meditate, to willfully think a thought that is negative, that is not appropriate. That we can have mastery, and that's what the verse is coming to say. Now, what we will also learn is that it also means heart, but heart that brings us to action. And that's what it says, in your heart to do. Not your heart and doing, but your heart to bring you to action. We're going to learn a lot more about that. We're going to learn how it's near to us. Chapters 12 through 17. We'll learn how it's very near to us. Chapters 18 through 25. And we will learn, and that's both the lengthy and short way. The lengthy way, chapters 12 to 17. Why is it lengthy? As we will learn, because it involves the mind having dominion over the heart, feeding the heart with a love and awe of God. That's lengthy. That's not a simple path. Learn a lot, know a lot, meditate a lot, contemplate a lot in order to mold and shape your heart. And then there's the short way, as we mentioned over here. And that short way is that we have it already in us, because we have a divine soul that has the love and awe of God, but it's hidden, concealed, and we need to reveal it. So it's short in the sense that we don't have to create the love, because the love is there, but it takes time, and that will be, and that's what it means, very near to you. So that's chapters 18 through 25. That's very near, because it's a part of the makeup of the divine soul, nefesh elokis, and at the same time it's also near, but that's with the mind having dominion over the heart, and that is the lengthy way, and that's why it's not very near, but it's near. So it's going to take us 53 chapters to get through this. Got a good, half a year almost, just under, in order to be able to get there. And God willing, we are going to get there together, which is very exciting to be able to do this. I want to introduce something a little different this cycle. Of course, I want to have conversation and I want to entertain your questions, but I actually want to ask some questions. And I want to get your involvement in conversation based on the questions that I ask, and not limiting to my questions, but I would like the engagement to include this. Again, your questions, absolutely. But before we even get to your questions, I want to ask a couple of questions and get your involvement. Okay, we may not always have the opportunity to ask the questions. We may not always have the opportunity to have a lengthy discussion on all of them. But we'll definitely make the effort, and that will be something new that we can add. By the way, I will be making a fabringen. I'm not exactly certain if it's going to be tonight or if it's going to be later on today or later on or tomorrow during the day for you to Kislev. I'll keep you posted. So my question is your relationship with God near or very near to you or not? And why? Do you feel, and by the way, if you don't feel that it's near, that's okay. That's why we're here together, so we can bring this out. Okay, that's what we're here together. Because actually, the Alter Rebbe says it's neged achush. It seems to be against, the experience to say that the relationship and connection to God is near, or even more so, very near. And what he presents to us is a method that it should become near and very near. But my question right now is, what do you feel? And what does it mean to you that God is near? Does it mean that he's protecting you? Does it mean that he is hearing you? Does it mean, does it mean, carrying you through difficulties? What does it mean to you? Now, this might be too personal, some of this stuff, and maybe you don't want to share. Maybe you do. On Facebook, if maybe for this we need 2 exclamation marks first, and then share. I'm not certain how to, I didn't think of that, how to make that stand out, or on Instagram. And on Clubhouse, you can actually talk. So Davida shares, everything comes from Hashem. He is my life. Moshe, near and dear, Hashem has proven time and again that I have much left to accomplish. So many near-death times he has brought me back. Baruch Hashem. Wow. Very near because he is part of me. He is everything. He is my everything. Eugenia, he is near and becoming closer with every Tanya study, bringing this relationship to Hashem's closest into focus. Beautiful. Beautiful. Robert, all 3. Eliana, please share.
Well, maybe I'll be the one that is not necessarily all the, near and dear, because he is. I can look at my life and say, without Hashem, certain things, I can point his hand in my life. And so in that sense, he's very near. But at the same time, because I can feel the distance when I move away, when I chase after something that's not, aligned with where my whole soul is, I can feel the distance and even feel the distance where I want to grow and have more knowledge and put that knowledge into action. So it's kind of like I often feel like I'm in this oscillation, like there's this nearness, but also this distance that I want to close.
Very good. Yeah. I'm going to have to agree with that, to say that God is always near would be amazing, to be able to say that, in fact he is, but in our feelings probably we don't feel that, right, that he is always near. There's times that we will feel closer, and times, and most likely, I think, Eliana, like you said, when we are distant, right? When we are distant in negative thoughts, in a negative behavior, so there isn't an nearness then. Not because God's not close to us, but we're not close to him, and we don't reveal, in our soul that connection. So I thank you for that, because for the honesty, for the vulnerability to share that is, seemingly very real and very true. That the ebb and flow of the relationship. So hopefully, what we're going to do together, when I say together, I mean, you know, I'm teaching, but I'm learning. You know, I'm maybe facilitating, but I'm learning. I hope like everybody else is learning and growing. Um, and I see that in myself. The more I learn Tanya, the more I learn Chassidus, the greater the growth is, the greater the attachment is, and the nearness and very near becomes more real with greater learning and greater observance. So yeah, very true. So thank you for sharing that. Okay, give me a moment over here. Just I see on Instagram. Um, Carolina says, I feel that since I started going to Chabad Zuchen Kadeshim, I feel Hashem closer and closer. And I felt the distance before that time. Wow, beautiful. Thank you. Yes, no question. Those who've come here to our Chabad house, and it's every Chabad house really. Can't claim it. You know, we're it's like every parent is a great and special parent to their child, and that's what it's supposed to be. They're supposed to be the best, and it should be, right? And so likewise, hopefully you're going to a place also, not just here online, which is great to learn together every day, which is like phenomenal. But you also need a community beyond an online community, because it's challenges with the online community in the sense of that it's virtual and not um, as it is when you're literally with people. And we see that over here, Shabbos Farbrengen, and different things that we do together. There's no doubt it's tremendous. It is tremendous. Okay.
Rabbi.
Yes. Gotcha.
Hi.
Please share.
I would like to say that I agree with Eliana that at various points in on this journey with my connection or connecting to Hashem, that there are times where you feel that closeness, and typically when you don't feel it, it's because you're not in right standing with where you are. But I wanted to ask if we're going to also be Tanya journaling starting at the beginning.
So it's Chatayani Masker Hayoim. I did my lack. I mentioned that I wanted to put together the Tanya journal from the beginning, and was not able to do it for this portion. I wanted to actually improve upon it and end up being a greater task than I was capable of getting into at the moment. So that's right now. I'm not going to have that, but I do hope that that it will come about. Need more effort to put into it, and that's maybe part of what we're doing right now. But yes, you know what? Actually, thank you for bringing that up. I really appreciate that, Batya, because it's sort of like on my mind and bothering me, I must say. Because I don't know about the feedback. I know that you and David have used it in a tremendous manner, and I wanted to have the feedback from others and how we could make it in a way that it will provide tremendously in one's journey and that it should become Havar Hazeh, that it should become Korav Ma'od, very close, very near. So that needs to be also a discussion that I need to hear from people.
I would like to say that David and I look forward to when it is prepared, because we have for sure noticed a difference in our connection to Hashem, and our daily life living and in our learning. So for those who are not aware, I definitely encourage it and totally support it, because it's pretty amazing the growth that you would receive as a result of Tanya journaling, because you really take a deep look inside in the questions, and you get to see where your growth is and where it's not, where you need to strengthen. So thank you, Rabbi. I just wanted to ask about it, and
no, thank you.
I wish you hazlacha with.
Amen.
I wish you hazlacha with getting it done.
Amen. Thank you. If anybody else has anything to say about that, that would also be helpful, or to comment about it. That would be amazing. Susan says, God protects me, otherwise I would have gotten in big, terrible situations. All right. Michael, good to see you, or to hear from you.
Hello, Rabbi. Shalom Aleichem.
Aleichem
I
shalom.
apologize for missing your room. I'm coming from the Ma'ariv service here because it's nighttime. So, yeah. I didn't get the whole topic of the room, but from what Batya said, it was something about our journey and our connection with Hashem. And I wanted to say that my connection and my faith has been tested during the last few years. And I can say that it has only strengthened after I've, started learning Tanya with you here on Clubhouse. And I want to thank you, Rabbi, for giving me this opportunity to strengthen that connection. And through the public rooms we do here, and through the private talks we've had over the times. And I was also looking into journaling, but I don't know how that would help me and what I need to do, whether I need to have a certain level of preparation in order to start journaling. So I was hoping you could shed a little light on that.
So, yeah, let me just hold on 1 second. For those that can see, at least, Clubhouse you can hear. Booklet, it goes through each chapter, and journaling means taking notes from the class, the things that resonate with you, the things that you struggle with. When you take notes on something, it makes you take greater ownership of the teachings, and then not just of the teachings, but the implementation, the practical implementation of a teaching. So when you journal, you have an opportunity, or it creates, the space, so to speak, that you can, own it and make it practical and real for you. So if you're learning about an idea, and then you understand the idea, and then you can make it into something of a practice, or a way that you can make it real for you and live with it. It's actually what it is. As Benjamin Franklin, I think, said, 1% inspiration and 99% perspiration. So we're learning, and the truth is that's not a Jewish statement, because in the learning itself there's a bond with God, right? Fulfilling a mitzvah, a connection with God, absolutely. The deepest connection is through the study of Torah, in soul connection, that is. So and to boot, it's inspiring, but where's the real change take place? In the perspiration, right? Not in the inspiration. So when you journal and you write down things that you learn, it just clarifies in the writing that you own it, and by the owning of it, you can live it more so. That is the concept. So, but in that sense, it's somewhat demanding. you know, I mean, you don't have to do it day in and day out necessarily, but, you know, for those that do it, you know, they have found that they can live that which they learn much more readily. Becomes, I guess, Karav Elecha, becomes Ma'oid, Karav Ma'oid, very close to you, because and now you kind of own it. That's the idea. If anybody else has what to share on that or in their experience, and that would be amazing.
Sure, Rabbi.
Sure, go ahead.
So I'm a writer, Rabbi, and my degree is in writing. I read and write a lot, and I've been doing this for a very long time. Anything that I learn that I think is significant, I write down. And it's true. Anything that you do in writing or speaking, all forms of expression to yourself changes. At least for me, it becomes a part of me, like you said. It's something that I remember. It's the practice of it, the doing of it, the speaking of it, not only to myself, but to others, because that which I learn, then I see as true and reflected in daily life. It's applicable in other ways.
Right.
You know, it's not just something that I'm doing for myself. And sometimes I share. So I write a great volume of things, but I don't share it all because it's a lot. I do share it with the people that I interact with, right, on a daily basis. And I think that's where the change happens, and it's the most powerful, is with our social daily interactions that do change as a result.
Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. Just want to share over here. That was very nice. Thank you, Vilma. Simcha. I really don't know as to not have Hashem near or live without. All my life it has been that He is near to me. Beautiful. Anna, my engagement of learning Tanya here brings me closer to the truth every day by day. Very cool. John, intermediately near, for when I look back at my life, I see many sins. But Tanya has helped me to understand that as I remember those sins, less and less, so does Hashem. Perhaps I am pre-betweener. Very good. Davida, as a daughter of a Holocaust survivor, my father taught me to know Hashem is very near, even when you can't see Him. Hear Him or feel Him. It's where you look for Him. Beautiful. Thank you. Wow. Everybody, thank you. Very, very nice. Vanja, I probably pronounced that wrong. Vanna. Feeling His nearness in body, mind, and soul. Very nice. Very nice. June, the more I know about God, the more I know I don't know. The same with closeness. The more I know, the more I need to become closer. Beautiful. Wow. That's everybody must give you kudos. Okay, so John, he's been using his legal pad to do the Tanya journaling. Wow, okay. Oh, okay, Julie. Yes, you reached out. Okay. Liba, it's not important to know if that God is there for me, but more important if I am doing His will, that He needs from me, which reaches the innermost part of my heart to connect with Him. Yeah, it's true what you're saying, but you know, the Alter Rebbe wants us that we should also have a feeling of connection, and to engage with the love and awe of God. Is, you know, we might be limited in that sense, but at least you know, the effort in that area is for sure. Okay, anybody else here? To share with us. Margot, Lindsay, Adam, David, Tim, Celeste, Reverend Foyle, Jeffrey, GP, and Svi. Adam, please share with us.
Hello, Rabbi. Shalom.
Shalom.
Thank you for sharing for daily dose teaching of Tanya. Yeah, it's good for me and for us. Thank you.
Thank you, Adam. Thank you very much. Adam, you're in Indonesia, right?
Delicious. Yes, I'm from Indonesia and now in Malaysia.
Ah, okay, beautiful. Okay, thank you. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
All right, folks. Again, I don't know when the Farbrengen will be online. I'll keep you posted. Again, a good yontif to everybody. May be inscribed and sealed for a good year in the study of Chassidus and the ways of Chassidus. That's a phrase from actually the Rebbe Rashab, the 5th Lubavitcher Rebbe. And a good yontif. A good yontif, a good yontif. Be well. Thank you. Thank you, folks, and thank you for sharing.